That has inflated the stock market because the senior managers and CEOs of large corporations, their compensation packages are tied to the value of stock.
Presumably some of it's gone to creating new jobs.
Not much.
That's how unemployment gets below 4%.
Yeah, but the unemployment figures are completely fixed. If you look at how they measure unemployment. So, for instance, if you work 1 hour a week, you're counted as employed. The average worker at Walmart works 28 hours a week, which puts them below the poverty line. They're counted as employed. If you have stopped looking for work after 4 weeks, you are magically erased from the unemployment rolls. And it doesn't count large sectors of the population, students, retired people, many of whom are now riding around in RV vans, doing temp work for Amazon at Christmas for 12 hours a day in warehouses, prisoners. So real unemployment, the LA Times a couple years ago said, real unemployment is pushing probably 17%. If we're talking, and if we removed people, or if we look at people who are considered the working poor, i.e. those people who have jobs but are below the poverty line, as in essence unemployed, or certainly not receiving an income that can sustain in any way a lifestyle, yeah.
I know you're not a massive fan of heartless capitalism, as I just read in 308 pages of the book. However, private companies create most of the jobs that most Americans have. So what do we do about that?
Well, I would argue that there are different types of capitalism. So I grew up in a farm town in upstate New York, and I saw the penny capitalism of farmers. Farmers brought their produce in for sale. You had regional capitalism, so a local factory owner who lived in the community, sat on the school board, paid taxes. And then you have corporate capitalism, which is another animal altogether. So when you talk about producing jobs, let's look at Apple. Where are the manufacturing jobs for Apple?
Overseas.
They're in China. Yeah. And what are the working conditions for the people they're subcontractors who make Apple products?
Not great.
It's kind of slave labor. It's huge suicide rates, wage theft. When they don't make quotas, they're not paid. People climbing up on them, living in these horrific dormitories. Corporate capitalism is an enemy of penny and regional capitalism. And it is global. It's supranational. It has no loyalty to the nation state. And it is corporate capitalism that has distorted and kind of hollowed the American economy out from the inside.
When I read your book, I see an America at war with itself between white supremacists and neo-Nazis who are trying to make their claim for the end of the world. I see you describe widespread sexual abuse in a hardcore poor industry that is completely frightening. Opioid and drug abuse and heroin abuse that is off the charts. Addictive gambling run amok. Widespread, as you've described already here tonight, inadequate employment and underemployment and unemployment. Far too much general suffering. I understand you're trying to tell a story here, but is that genuinely, truly reflective of America today?
Yes.